Welcome to my channel. My name is Emma and this channel is all about sewing, mainly hand sewing, but I love all types of sewing. So thank you for joining me today. I was just in my sewing room doing a bit of hand stitching on some lovely little heart-shaped yo-yos, and I just thought, well, while I'm doing this, why don't I just pop the camera on and chat to you all, because I've got a few updates to tell you about. So how are you? I really hope that you're well. There are a few new people around here, I think, so a big welcome to you if you are a new subscriber and you've taken a chance on me this month. I really hope that you will like the videos that you see from me. And also a big welcome back to anyone who's been here before. It's really lovely to have you here and you are all so appreciated. So thank you for joining me. We've finally made it to February, and January has felt like a really long month, hasn't it? I'm glad that we're getting closer to spring because, if I'm honest, the weather here in the UK has been quite dreary and grey and a bit dismal. So I'm really hoping that things are going to turn a corner in February, but we'll see. So in today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about some updates to the channel and things that I'm doing, and then I'm going to show you some projects that I have been working on. So the first update that I would like to tell you about is that there is now going to be a regular uploading schedule here on my channel, and that's something I haven't had for quite a while. When I first started the channel, I was able to put a video out every week for quite a few months, and then things have happened. It's been a tricky couple of years, hasn't it? And I haven't been able to stick to a regular schedule, and that's something that's really bothered me. I've always wanted to be consistent and I want you to know what to expect from me. And I'm in a really good place now and able to do that. Now, as much as I'd love to put a video out every week, because my videos are quite long and the projects that I do in them are quite involved, then that just isn't really possible. But I am going to be able to put out a video every other week, every fortnight, and I'm really excited about that. So you can expect to see a video from me uploaded on a Monday at 7 PM UK time, as I've always done. One week, and then the next week there won't be one, and then the following week there will be one, and we will carry on like that alternate weeks, unless something happens, as life does from time to time. But hopefully that will be a schedule that I can really keep up with. I think it's manageable for me. Also, though, you may be familiar with a fairly new thing on YouTube called YouTube Shorts. It's a short video, usually around 30 seconds. I think the maximum that they can be is 1 minute. So in between my two longer, bigger, full-length videos, if you like, which my videos are usually around 20 minutes long, in between those I do plan on putting some YouTube shorts on my channel. I do have some already which you might have seen, but I do plan on making some more of those and putting them up throughout the time between videos, because I make them anyway for Instagram, and I actually really like making short videos, and I really like making longer ones too. I actually really love making videos almost as much as sewing, if I'm honest. I really do love making videos. So you can expect to see more shorts from me. I think they just take a bit of getting used to because they are so short, but they are actually a really good way to show a little snapshot into a project or to pass on some tips in a nice, concise way. So I'm hoping that the shorts that I will continue to make will be useful and interesting. So that's another little change to the channel. So in addition to that change, I'm also excited and nervous to tell you about my Patreon channel. I've been asked from time to time if I had a Patreon, and it hasn't been something that I've been able to do until now. And I'm really excited about it, but also nervous. And I let my newsletter subscribers know about it, and some lovely people have signed up already, which is just really wonderful. So a huge thank you to them, because it is scary doing something new, and you do worry if anyone is going to turn up or whether I'll just be there on my own. But I'm really thankful that some people have joined. I want to say, first of all, that it isn't going to change anything on YouTube at all. None of my free content and the free things on my website will change. My hope is that by starting a Patreon, that will support my YouTube channel and support my free content and help me to keep going. There is no pressure, no obligation to join, but if it's something that you think you would like to do, then I'd really love to see you over there. It's a way of supporting me, and you'll also get a few benefits back. So one of the tiers, you'll get to see all YouTube videos before they go live on YouTube, and you'll get to see them ad-free. And in that tier you also get one extra Patreon only video, so you get to see a bit of extra content from me. But please do know that if it's not something that you're able to do at the moment, then that's absolutely fine. I appreciate you however you support me. So by watching my video here, you're supporting me. By pressing the like button, by subscribing, by following me on Instagram, all of these ways support me, and I'm really, really grateful. I'd also like to thank the people that have actually given me a super thanks. That was really unexpected and really appreciated. So thank you so much for those people who gave me a super thanks on my last few videos. Me and my family really, really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who's also been supporting me by buying some things in my shop. My shop is only really small because that's all I can really manage at the moment. I'm not able to buy large amounts of things to sell, but I do have some nice little things like fabric packs and lovely threads and needles and things like that. So thank you to everyone who's popped over there to have a look. I just really appreciate all the support in all the different ways, so I just wanted to tell you about that. So the main two updates really are that there will be a more consistent upload schedule here on YouTube going forward, and also that I have launched my Patreon channel. So if you would like to take a look at that, I will leave a link in the description below, and I do hope to see you there if it is something that you feel that you can do. So it's the beginning of February now, and I just thought I would give you a little update on some of the projects that I've been working on throughout January. I've been working on quite a few different things, but a lot of my time I spent making this mini quilt, which is just fallen off the hanger. But it is a snowdrop mini quilt, and it's something that's been going around in my head for a long time, that I wanted to create a block of the month series of mini quilts called Flower of the Month. It is a EPP block, and it has applique on in the centre and applique snowdrop, and I've put a poem around the edge, and it says, "Snowdrops glisten in the winter light, letting you know all will be alright." So it's just a little poem that I just made up, and it just reflects what I think about snowdrops, really. So I'm not sure what to do about the pattern for this yet. I have 11 others designed as well, and what's really nice about them is they stand alone as a mini quilt, and I've actually backed this one in the same way you would back a Quilt As You Go block. But you could just put backing and wadding and do a binding around it, so there's a couple of ways of doing it. I like the idea that it can stand alone as a mini quilt, and for me, snowdrops reflect the month of February because that is when they bloom in my garden. They don't bloom in January, they're coming up and their leaves are there and they've broken through the surface, but they only really flower in my garden in February, which is why I chose it as the February flower. And you might remember the bluebell block from a past video. This was a video that I made in May, and it was all about bluebells and making this block, and it follows the same format where there is an applique flower in the middle, an embroidered poem around the edge. The shapes actually do fit together, so they could all be made and then made into something bigger, or they could stand alone as a mini quilt. When I made this, I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do with it, so I actually haven't backed it. I made this one with hexiform, so it's all just raw at the back, if you like. But I am going to back it because I want mine to all be mini quilts, and I want to hang them up every month like a calendar. So I'm working on that. I'm working on the patterns for that and thinking of a way of releasing it. So stay tuned. Hopefully that will be something that will come out this year if I can do it, but we'll see. So another thing that I am working on currently is my hex petal flower quilt, my Liberty quilt. And every time I get this out of the bag, it just makes me want to work on it because it does feel so luxurious because of all the Liberty, the crazy combination of flowers and prints, and this beautiful panel in the middle. It's just lovely, and I can't wait to have it all hand quilted, and that's what I've been working on, and that's what my next video will be on, because I'm quite close to having it finished. I won't show you too much, but you can see I've got to also trim down the edge and put the binding on, so that might not be in the next video. There might have to be a part 3 to this quilt, but I'm sure you understand if you don't get to see completely from start to finish in a video, because you know how long these projects take. So I know that you can understand that it might not be possible to fit everything in. I'd be stitching night and day. But I have some interesting things to share in the hand quilting of this quilt video, to do with the needles that I use and the thread that I love. And so I hope that that will be a really interesting video, and that you'll like to see my preferences for that and how I'm tackling the panel in the middle, because that has taken quite a lot of thought and a bit of trial and error and a bit of change in my mind to make sure that I got that right. So I really hope that you will like to see that video. So that should be out not next week, but the week after. I think once I've finished this quilt, which will be soon, I'll be able to put more time into my Quilt As You Go hexagon quilt, because that has been just at a standstill point really, and I love that project and I can't wait to get back to it. So when I get back started with that, I will show you it here, and then we will do another video March, April time, where I will ask all of you to send in your videos or photographs of your Quilt As You Go quilts, because I know so many of you have started it, or you started it last year, or you're starting it now. So I think it would be really nice to do an update on that, because it is just such a lovely project, and yeah, I'm excited about that. That's actually all of the sewing that I've been working on in January. I have been working on some more pattern ideas and filming that process for my stitch school, but just not quite ready to show you those yet, but I promise I will show you when everything's finished. But I've actually been doing a bit of crochet this month. Well, it's February now, but throughout January I've been doing quite a bit of crochet, and it's really funny because when I looked back through old blog posts, and I think I mentioned it here on the channel, it was actually a year ago that I last went through my crochet obsession phase, where I was doing crocheted hexagons, and I've kind of gone back to that, but I'll show you. So I started by crocheting this lovely little flower coaster, just a really quick project that was finished in a few minutes. I followed a lovely tutorial on YouTube, which was really nice to do, as well as teaching and showing things here on YouTube. I love being a learner from YouTube as well, and that's why it's quite nice for me to do crochet as another side hobby on top of this, on top of all the sewing. So this was a really fun little project, and it's made a really nice coaster that just sits on my bedside table, and I've been using it lots, so I think I might make some more of those and put them around the house. Another thing that I've been working on last year, I think it was last year, it may have even been the year before, I started the painted, I think it's called Painted Roses blanket by Sandra Cherry Heart, and then after that she made a Painted Anemones blanket which were in hexagon shapes, and I really wanted to start that too. I want to start all the things all the time, but then she brought out a version of those Painted Anemones in Cath Kidston colours. And you may know, if you've been here before, that I really love anything Cath Kidston, and I just had to make this. So I'm currently making these hexagons with the flower in the middle, the anemone in the middle, in these lovely Cath Kidston colours. And I started this last year actually, and I've carried on after Christmas throughout January. So I've made quite a few of these, and have just slightly altered the pattern, just ever so slightly on the edge, and I think I'm using most of the colours that she suggests. I've got no idea how I'm going to join them together. I'm just going to keep making the hexagons for now. I think I probably will do, like, oh, that's back to front, probably will do some sort of cream between them, but I'm not the best at joining crochet squares together. I have a blanket that I've had in the works for probably over 10 years, and I haven't finished it because I was disappointed in how I joined them together. So I think I've given myself a tricky task with joining the hexagons together, but you never know, we'll see. So that's not the only crochet project that I've been working on. I also bought some beautiful yarn from Lay Family Yarns, and I'm sure you know who they are. Kelly also has a YouTube channel, and it's so lovely because she is just a lovely person. I don't know her, I have not met her, but you can just tell from watching her YouTube channel what a beautiful person that she is, and she's so inspiring, and her yarn is absolutely beautiful. And before Christmas I bought a sock set from her because it was inspired, the colours in the yarn were inspired by Betsy Butterfly print, and I just had to buy it. And at that time I really wanted to make a pair of socks because it was so cold. It was during that cold snap that we were having in the UK. But sock knitting, I've only ever made one pair of socks in my life, and I have a couple of half-made pairs that have been half-made for many years. Typical. And to be honest, I'm not very good at making socks. I wish I was, but I'm not. And small circumference knitting, I stopped altogether about 5 years ago because I got really bad pain down here and numbness in my thumb from doing small circumference knitting, and that is the type of knitting that I used to really love. I loved making colourwork mittens, but I had to stop. So, and it was good that I stopped because all of that pain and numbness got better. But years have passed and I really wanted to try again. So I bought the yarn, and I wish I'd kept it in the skein, but I was so desperate to use it that I put it into a ball straight away. But so you can't really see how beautiful it is. But it's a really delicate cream colour with speckles of lilac and yellow and green and pink. It's really pretty. And it came also with a contrast colour, which again I couldn't wait to use it, so I put it into a ball straight away. I just wound it myself. I didn't even have the patience to go and get a ball winder out of the loft, but it's this really delicate lilac colour and they just look so nice together, and they're so soft. I wish you could feel them. So when I realised that socks were not going to be an option, I thought, well, I'll just crochet something from it, because that's really more my thing than knitting. So I found a Japanese craft book and had a look through the patterns and found a lovely light lacy scarf, and it's so pretty. The lace pattern is really beautiful and it has flowers all around the edge. I think it would be the perfect scarf for spring. So I decided to start making that, and you can see this is where I am up to with it. Upside down. This is where I'm up to with it, and you can see what a beautiful pattern it is, but also how beautiful this yarn is. And I'm really delighted with how it's coming out, and I'm really excited to keep working on it. And I just think the flowers in this colour will really look really pretty. But I think I made a bit of an error in that I don't think I've got enough yarn in this colour to make a long enough scarf. So I think what I'm going to do is make probably this big, because this is how much I've done so far, and it will look better when it's blocked. I'm just probably going to make patches like this, blocks, and join them together. So I have this yarn, and then I've got, it's the only thing I had that was anywhere near similar. It's again another 4-ply, and it's just plain, and it's by drops. And then I think I'm going to do alternate, so the plain colour and then the beautiful hand-dyed yarn. I think I'm going to do that. Or if she has another set on her website, I'll probably buy another one, because I do absolutely love this. So it's come to a bit of a standstill because I realised I didn't have enough yarn, but really enjoying working on it, and I'll figure something out to finish it, because it's going to be the perfect light spring scarf, because I do always like having a scarf on when I'm outside. I think that's going to be the perfect project for that. A huge thank you. That's it for today, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. But in the meantime, please look out for me, because I will have some lovely little YouTube shorts popping up here and there, and over on Instagram as well. I need to get back into Instagram and find my feet with it again. I've lost my way a little bit with it, but it is hard keeping up with all the things, isn't it? So yeah, do look out for me there, and I will see you really soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye.